I mean, SABMiller goes back 100 plus years. Well, in fact, South African Breweries, as it was called in those days. It was a South African beer operation that's in existence for over 100 years. And what actually happened is that beer, as you know, generates a lot of cash. So you had this operation in South Africa. It was generating cash. During the apartheid era, South Africa was sanctioned, so the company couldn't invest outside of the country. And as a result, they invested in other industries, in retailing, in light manufacturing, etc., etc. So what actually happened is you had this SAB grew to be this local conglomerate, principally beverage, but other businesses as well. And then what happened in the early 90s when Nelson Mandela was released from prison and South Africa was eventually opened up to the world, is that SAB, South African Breweries, at that stage decided to focus on beer and beverage, disposed of the non-core businesses, and used that cash to invest in beer and beverage operations outside of the country. That was back in 92, 93. I joined the company in 1994. I joined what was then the international division, which accounted for less than 1% of the group profits. So you had South Africa was 99 point whatever, and the international division, which in those days consisted of Swaziland, Botswana, Lesotho, Tanzania, and a first foray into Hungary. So it was quite fascinating. So we had certainly had a focus on where to be. And interestingly, at the same time, what was happening in Eastern Europe was the fall of communism. Okay, so around about the mid-90s, there were certainly operations or beer businesses that were in the process of being privatized. So we saw that as an opportunity and went into countries such as Hungary, Poland, Czech, Romania, Slovakia, Russia, into those operations. At the same time, there was a realization that certainly Asia was a huge growth area for the future, and in 1994 we invested in China as well, and then also, of course, in Africa, in our doorstep. We invested in Tanzania, was the first big one, and then subsequently in places like Uganda, Zambia, Ghana, Mozambique. So really, it's a company that comes from South African roots, but today truly is a multinational, both in terms of the diversity of our operations and the diversity of our people and our management.